Okay, I want you to go to your OneDrive and open the folder that I shared with you and go into PowerPoint Chapter 7. We're going to download some files first because it will take probably 10 minutes for one of these files to download. So we'll have it downloading while we're working on some of the other things. So you're in the PowerPoint Chapter 7 folder. I want you to put a check mark beside the file that says flight.mov. And you're going to download it. So click download or right click and download. This is the one that's going to take a while. And while that's downloading, I want you to then put a check mark beside the audio file 03, and download it as well. And it'll download very quickly. I mean, I click the save because I'm in an Explorer and boom, it's done. But this other one, like right now, mine is only on 9%. Okay, so we've downloaded the two files, flight.mov and audio file 03.mid. A mid file is a sound file. Okay, now we're going to open job search. And I want you to actually open it in PowerPoint. Yes, Anthony. What? What PowerPoint slide? For the one. Okay, is it like an assignment you worked on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Andrew, in Chapter 7, PowerPoint Chapter 7, we downloaded audio file 03 and flight.mov. And the flight.mov is going to take a while, which is why we're doing it now. And then we're opening job search, and it looks like this. Very basic. And I'll give everyone a few minutes because I know it takes you longer to open it than me because I don't have to log back into PowerPoint like you do. Okay, once you have this open, you're going to save it. Save as. Save it in the folder you created. You can't just save it right here. I've already named mine, so I'm just finding it and I'll show it to you. It's P-C7-A3-job search. Here it is. P-C7-A3-job search. We've been following that same format all semester long.
It's weird. That is weird. Say it's even though it's here. I'm not sure that. We'll have to do it a different way. Click on documents. Click the actual Word documents. There we go. All right. So why is it? This is weird. This should be here. This should have warning. Is this yours? But you shouldn't be able. It shouldn't do that. If you have your own login once. Yeah. I'm finding strange. Should have the information right there. Yeah, I could probably go to that file account. It would show. Yeah. I don't know, I've never seen that happen before, so that's okay. Anyone else having issues with saving? Okay. What? Okay, so P-C7-A3-job search. I'm not saving mine because I've already done this twice. Should be saved to your OneDrive, to your folder. Make sure it's inside that folder. This class is doing pretty good with saving it inside that folder. Okay, now we're going to apply the WISP design theme. So click the Design tab and click mine shows up in this first bar. It's the far right. It says WISP. Yours may not, so click the More button and find the theme. There are actually two of them here. This WISP and then the one down here. They're the same. So really it doesn't matter which one you choose. I don't know why there are two in your list. So WISP. It's got the little grasses with the red arrow. And we're going to choose the third variant, which is this blue variant. Okay, now we're deviating from the book. So if you're trying to follow along, you won't be able to at this point. I want you to go to slide number 4. And we're going to start by inserting some clip art. So click Insert, Online Pictures. And let's search. If you look at this slide, it's talking about developing your contact list when you're out searching for a job and you want to network, talk to people you know. So the clip art that I thought would work good for this page, let's search for network. Now it's going to bring up a lot of like computer networking, but there is one picture in here under network that works very well. And it's going to be this one right here. It's got the people in the middle and then all the people around. So when you're searching for a job, it's important for you to network with people you know because they may know someone who is looking to hire. So click that one and insert it. It's huge. We're going to resize it. There's no specific size. Make sure you grab this corner handle. We've already worked with clip art. So resize it to where it'll fit in the lower right-hand corner. And now we're going to insert some clip art on slide 8. So click slide 8. And this one is about staying motivated when you're looking for a job. So I searched for motivation. So go insert online pictures, type motivation. Now the one you select here, it doesn't matter. Choose one that you like. Any of these will work. I chose the one with the magnifying glass somewhere down here. There we go. I liked this one because it's a job search, staying motivated. They kind of went together. The magnifying glass. You can pick any of them. It doesn't matter which one you choose. Put it in the lower right-hand corner, resize it if you need to. Maybe you have to make it bigger or smaller. Maybe you want to remove the background. I tried to remove the background on this one, and it took away a lot of the text, and I didn't like the way it looked. So, but I did add a style, and I picked the same style that I always pick because I like it. Just because it has that white background, and I didn't want it to make it look like I forgot about the white background and it looked terrible, so I added a picture style to just make it look a little more professional.
Okay, now we're going to add some animations to these two slides, slide 4 and slide 8. So let's go back to slide 4. And the first thing that we're going to do is click on the Animations tab. And on the far right, I like to add the animation pane. It's going to show up on the right-hand side as a task pane, and I like to use it often. So we're going to add it. It says animation pane. Right now, it's the only thing that's really selected that you can click on. Animation pane shows up on the right-hand side. We're going to add an animation to this content placeholder where it says network, network, network. Just click in there somewhere, and it selects this content placeholder, this box, this text box. And we're going to add an animation. And as soon as I clicked on that, we have all of these different animations that appear. You can do this two ways. You can click the More button right here and view all of these, or you can select the star and the plus that says Add Animation. You see the same ones. So really, it's up to you which one you use. Let's put an entrance. And it does not matter which one you choose. Choose one of these. That's not true because the wheel. Don't choose the wheel. I had two students that used that one and it didn't do what we needed it to do. So choose any of these others. I'm going to choose, let's see, swivel, because it's kind of crazy. And I don't know if I'd really use that on the job search presentation, but as soon as I add that, by default, it does each little paragraph separately. Did you see it? As soon as you added that animation, it animated each one. In this animation pane over here on the right-hand side, it has a number 1 and it says content placeholder. There are 2 double arrows beneath that. If you click it, it will expand this. And it has them numbered by paragraphs. So this first, network, 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 and the sub level bulleted list, the second level, is included in one paragraph. And then you have the second paragraph and the third paragraph. So each one of these is numbered. That's nice. I like that. We're going to leave it on this slide. We're also going to animate the graphic, the clip art. So click on the clip art and add an animation. It can be an entrance or an exit. It could also be an emphasis. It might work a little differently than what we're all going to do. I'm going to add an entrance because I want it to come in at the same time that my text is coming in, but I'm going to do something different, like we'll do grow and turn. So as soon as I add that animation, it numbers my picture number 4. I wish I could reach up and touch that. So it's right here, number 4. Right now it's coming in very last. So these other 3 items are coming in first, then the picture is coming in. If you play this, in the bottom right-hand corner, you have the slideshow. Go ahead and select that, and let's view this slide. Use your mouse, your space bar to have each item come in. So we have the first 3 paragraphs, then our clip art. Our clip art is actually a clip art that goes with the text network, network, network. So let's escape out of slideshow view. And we're going to move this picture so that it comes in at the same time that the first paragraph does. So I want you to select the number 4 where it says picture 3 in your animation pane. Just click right on it and drag it right above the number 2 and drop it. You'll see you get an orange line. We're moving it. It becomes number 2. Now it's still coming in separately. The first paragraph enters and then the picture enters. I want it to arrive at the same time that the first paragraph does. So make sure number 2, picture 3 is selected. If you're not sure if it is, you can click on it, the actual graphic. And on the Picture Tools Format tab, that is actually, no, we're still on the Animations tab, sorry. In this timing gallery, it says Start on Click. Do you all see that? Right here where my mouse is showing you. Click the drop-down arrow and choose With Previous. Now, picture 3 is part of the number 1. Now I want you to view this in slideshow view again. Now you can play them from here if you click number 1 and play from. I like it in slideshow view because it really shows you really how it's going to look. So in slideshow view, my first paragraph and graphic enter at the same time. Then my second paragraph, then my third paragraph. You see how that works? How you can reorder those and make them all part of something else. This is important because this is your homework assignment is going to be very similar to this. Now, at any time you want to change the actual animation, you can just click on it. Maybe I choose number 2 and I can change that animation. But we're not going to. I just want you to see that you can. Maybe you didn't like the one you picked. Let's click on number 8, slide number 8. Staying motivated. Click in the content placeholder. That's where your text is. And add an animation. It doesn't matter if it's entrance or exit, either one of those. Don't choose an emphasis. We'll do that in just a minute. Choose an entrance or an exit. I'm going to choose bounce entrance. By default, it does it 1 paragraph at a time. Okay, I decide I don't like that. I don't want it to be 1 paragraph at a time. I want it to all show up on my slide at the same time. So in my animation pane, I'm going to make sure that that animation is selected. So I'm just clicking on it. There are actually 2 here if I were to expand it. In the effect options right here, and it really depends on which animation you chose. This graphic might be different. Earlier I had an up arrow on mine. Right now I have the 3 dots with the lines. Click the drop down arrow next underneath that effect options and choose all at once. Right now it's coming in 1 paragraph at a time. That's default. All at once, it comes in as 1 big paragraph. Now we can also, let's expand our contents in our animation pane. So click the double arrows underneath the number 1. And I'm going to click on the line where it says finding a job. Do you see how each line here is listed? I'm going to click on the one that says finding a job, and it's going to be the only one that's selected. I'm going to highlight it. I don't know if you need to highlight it, but you used to have to, so I think I just still do it. But I'm going to highlight that line, finding a job is your job, in the content placeholder. And I'm going to add an emphasis to this line. You could do a bold. I'm going to do a bold flash. You could do any of these that are yellow. I think the grow shrink is kind of neat too. Sometimes they go awfully fast. Which we're going to fix. So you added an emphasis to the very first line. And it changed. You had a green, or I had a green star here because I had an entrance. If you had an exit, it would have been a red star. And now it's yellow because we added an emphasis to this first line. In this animation pane on the far right of finding a job, you see this that's black drop-down arrow. I want you to click it and go to effect options. This is not the same as the effect options you just saw above. This is a little different. And I want you to click on the timing tab. We could have clicked that drop-down arrow and just chose timing. It would have brought up the exact same box, but timing would have been selected. See where it says duration, 2 seconds, medium? That was awfully fast. We can actually make it pretty slow, so it shows slower. So I could choose 3 seconds slow or 5 seconds very slow. Choose one of these durations. Just change it to one of these and click OK. It still doesn't seem to be staying very long. I'm going to actually go to slideshow view because sometimes it'll show differently or look better. So it appears on my screen already. It doesn't have an entrance. You cannot have an emphasis and another animation on there at the same time. So right now there's no entrance animation on my finding a job is your job. As soon as I press my space bar, the rest of my text comes in, then my space bar again, and it should have turned bold, and it didn't. Okay, so now my emphasis is not working. That's interesting. I'm going to change the start on click. I'm going to choose automatically or after previous. It's still not doing it. Oh, there, I did it. It sure didn't last long. I didn't choose the bold one last time. I chose the, in my other class, I chose the pulse, and I thought it did pretty good, and the grow shrink's another one that works well. So you just have to kind of experiment with the one that you like. One other thing I want you to look at is that we can add sound. When you're working on your career presentation, though, I do not want you to go crazy with sounds. Not every single animation needs a sound. It's okay to put a few sounds on your presentation, but just don't go crazy. And we'll just add a couple to this one slide and you'll understand what I mean. So this finding a job is your job in the animation pane. I want you to click that drop down arrow again. It's right here. We've got the yellow bar next to it. Go back to effect options. And you'll see here where it says enhancements sound. Click the drop down arrow. You have all of these sounds. Just add one. If you want to know what they sound like, and they're the same ones from transitions, by the way, you can click the little sound button. Okay, mine is just bringing up the volume. Finding a job is your job. I'm not sure what sound would sound good with that. I'm going to do an applause. And I'm going to click OK. My sound must not be on this computer for some reason. I don't hear anything. I hear some of you, but mine's playing, but it's not. Must be the speakers up front. Now, I want you to go crazy. I want you to do what I just told you not to do, and I want you to add 2 more sounds to these other lines. So maybe it's the volunteer, or maybe it keeps you active. Then I want you to go into slideshow view and view that and tell me how annoying it is that every animation has a sound, or even 3 animations have a sound. Now imagine doing a presentation. Maybe you're in history class, you're given a presentation, and you've included a sound on all of these animations. It's probably not a good thing. It's okay once in a while. Oh, here we go. Hopefully I don't blow you out of the water with these big old speakers. I'm going to play mine. I have 3 sounds. Oh, it only played the one. I think it played the first one. We would probably have to choose not all at once. We would probably have to go back to the by paragraph in order to get more than one sound. That's not a bad thing. I even think just one sound is too much. That's my opinion. I think when you're talking about a professional presentation, you really have to be so cautious when it comes to the sound because it can detract from that presentation. It really doesn't add to it that much. Now, maybe at the very end, or maybe, I don't know. I have an issue with some of these sounds. And these sounds that are put on here are not professional in any way. None of them. I mean, explosion, why would you have an explosion if you're giving a professional presentation? If you're talking about World War II and you bring in a picture of, you know, storming the beaches of Normandy, that would be different. In that case, maybe you could have something like that and get away with it. So be very careful with those sounds. All right, now click on the graphic. So we're still on slide 8. I want you to click on the graphic. The one animation we haven't talked about that seems like most students really like is the motion path. So click your More button, choose Custom Path. There are some pre-formatted motion paths that you can choose, but in Custom Path, you get to draw your own path, and your graphic will follow that path. It will move along that path. So click Custom Path. You're going to use your mouse and you're going to draw. Now, I'm not going to go crazy. I've seen some where they do a spiral. I'm just going to start after staying, and you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can draw your own. I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to kind of do like a little wave. And then when you're done, just double click where you want it to end, and your graphic will follow that path. And I have seen, once again, some crazy ones, motion paths. So really think about the reason you're using a motion path before you actually use it. If you were giving a presentation at a nursing home, you probably would not want a motion path that just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You don't want to cause seizures or anything to that effect. And that's true. I'm not joking. You know, that something like that can cause it. So just be cautious of who you're showing this to. Now, if you are purposefully doing this, it's okay if it fits in your presentation. But I do want you to know that it's there. Okay, hopefully our video has finished downloading. I'm going to go to my internet browser and I'm going to click my OneDrive, and it should tell me at the bottom, mine has completed. It says the flight.mov download has completed. If you're using Chrome, you've got a drop-down arrow in the bottom right-hand corner by your flight.mov. It should tell you if it's done or not. Hopefully they're all finished. I didn't have any that took over 10 minutes in my last class. Okay, go back to PowerPoint and click on slide 10. Now we're following step 4 and 5 in the book. So on step number 4, it says make slide 10 active and insert the video file named flight.mov. So click the Insert tab. And on the far right, it says Video. Click the drop-down arrow under Video and choose Video on my PC. And by default, these all save in the Downloads folder unless you have specifically put them somewhere else. So click Downloads. Here it is, Flight. And it inserts this video. Now the next step tells us, the next 2 steps tell us that we need to change the height and distribute it horizontally. And I'll just tell you that the height is already 5 inches and it's already distributed horizontally. So we don't need to do those 2 steps. If we did, it works just like we're used to. We change the height and width, align, distribute horizontally. So we're ready for step number 4C. We're going to click the Playback tab, Video Tools, Playback. So you have to click on this video if you're not. Yes? Okay. No, you're on the right one. It's on
But it says right here.
Let's see where it is. I'm going to, okay, go ahead. You have to choose video. Video. And it was looking for a picture. Download downloads. There you go.
Can you get that?
So yeah, for the video. Yeah.
Okay.
And why this is on a job search, I'm not sure. The last slide was something about taking off into your career. But okay, so we're on the video tools playback button. You've got your video selected. If you don't, that video tools won't show up. We are going to, where it says start, you're going to, on click, you're going to click the drop down arrow next to that and choose automatically. You're also going to check play full screen and hide while not playing. So we are starting it automatically. We are playing it full screen, and we are going to hide it while not playing. So you should have check marks in each one of those, and start should say automatically. We're also going to trim this video. So on the same tab, towards the left, it says trim video. If you click that, you get the trim video dialog box. It tells us to trim off 9 seconds. On this green slider, we can slide it to the right to trim it. You will not be able to get exactly to 9 seconds. 9.909 is the closest I'm getting. But right beneath that green slider bar, it says start time. I could make it exactly 9. So right now it says 0.909. I can delete that last 9. Now it's exactly 9 seconds trimmed. This is trimming it, meaning that first 9 seconds will not play. We could also trim the end of this video, but there's no need for us to. We're trimming the time 9 seconds. So we clicked on the green slider and drug it over to as close as we could get to 9 seconds. And then and it's okay if you couldn't get quite there, but 9:09 was the closest that I got. Now it's 9:05, 0.905. And you can change it down here in start time. Okay, go ahead and click OK. And it says approximately the first 9 seconds, so we're fine. Now deselect your video by just clicking on the background somewhere. Click the Insert tab again. We're going to insert our sound file. Insert on the far right, go to Audio. Audio on my PC. Navigate to your downloads folder. It's called Audio File 03. Don't play it, just insert it. Otherwise you have to listen to it over and over and over again. Okay, so once we inserted this, the Audio Tools playback button is selected, the tab. Start, we're going to choose automatically. We're going to put a check mark in the loop until stopped. That means it's going to play the sound and then replay the sound and replay the sound until we tell it otherwise by stopping it or moving to the different slide. So loop until stopped, and then also hide during show. So put a check mark in hide during show. All that does is hides the actual icon. So we won't see the sound icon. There's no reason to move it. You can leave it right where it inserted because it won't show up. Now I want you to go and play the slideshow, and you'll get to listen to that beautiful music. And your video should be full screen. Now my music is not playing. Okay, the music should be playing and not the video. So I'm going to escape out of here. I'm not sure why.
Like at the end.
It shouldn't though. It should start right away. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I know why. In my last class, we did the audio file first. Go ahead and escape out. Press escape. There you go. Okay, in this view on the right-hand side in the animation pane, you'll see the flight. Ignore this trigger right here. Go up. It says flight and audio file. Okay, I want you to click on the drop-down arrow by audio file. There's that black drop-down arrow. And say start with previous. So now flight and audio file should start playing at the same time. So now when we go, there we go. Okay. I don't know what this has to do with job search, but yeah. Now I have to press escape twice. When I escape the first time, it takes me to my slide. Then I escape again, and it takes me back to my presentation. One other thing, what? Okay, the second to the last thing that I'm going to show you that will actually, the last thing we're going to do as a class is create a custom slideshow. The purpose for this is maybe you create the slideshow and you have it for different groups of people you want to show. So one group of people, you only want them to see a few slides. Another group, you want them to see more slides. We can create a custom show without recreating our presentation. So click on the slideshow tab. As soon as I move that out of the way. Slideshow, it says custom slideshow right here. Click the drop down arrow and go to custom shows. Now there are no custom shows created. We're going to click new. We're creating one. The slideshow name is interview. So highlight custom show 1 and type interview. And the book tells us on step 9 that this interview presentation is going to show slides 1, 3, 6, 7, and 9. So put a check mark in those slides, 1, 3, 6, 7, and 9. And click the add button, and it will add it to the custom show. So this custom show has 5 slides in it. Click OK. And now there's a button that says show. I want you to click it and we'll go through those 5 slides very quickly. The first one is the job search, then our resume, interviewing, interview follow-up, congratulations. Slides 4, 8, and 10, the ones we actually worked on, aren't part of this custom show. Now, that's saved in here. So if you decide you've created this presentation, you're ready to go show it, and you want to show your custom show, you're on the slideshow tab. Under custom slideshow, you now have the custom show that says interview. So you could just pull that up and show it. Okay, I want you to click save. And while you're doing that, I want to show you up here the step that we're actually skipping because it takes too long. It says compress the video file for internet quality. You would do that by clicking the File tab, and right here it says compress media, and I would click the drop down arrow and choose internet quality. But when I went to do that, it was taking too long and I didn't want to wait because I'm kind of impatient and I'm not really putting it on the internet. So I just wanted to show you how it's done. All right. That concludes today. Now let me just show you what you're doing for your homework. As soon as I can get all this moved out of the way. You're going to complete assessment 2. So you're going to back up a page, 319 and 320, and you're working with animations. You won't add any video or audio, but you'll work with animations and a little bit with the slide master view that you did in the last chapter. I want to remind you that you do not have class next Friday. You do not have class next Friday. I'll be in St. Louis at a conference. You need to be working on your career PowerPoint. It's due November 2nd. Next Friday is October 28th already. So your presentation is actually due it's due on the Wednesday after next Friday. It will be November already. So you don't have a lot of time left to work on that. You will have, now you'll only end up having 2 class periods to work on it because the 1 class period is next Friday and I won't be here. Okay, are there questions? Do you have any? Nope? All right. Have a good weekend. This will be in your A assignments folder. It's not there yet. I'm getting ready to put it there.